Okay, so hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining in from. All right. So today we're going to be speaking on something that is very paramount, and speaking as a man, right? It is something that most men don't even take cognizance of. We just believe that we can just sleep, wake up the next day morning, and then on to the next, right? But the truth is, there is a very, very direct relationship between your mental health and sustainable success. If it's sustainable success you desire, right? If it's success that just transcends just making money, but being able to sleep well, wake up, find fulfillment, have something to be passionate about, or healthily passionate about, right? It is something that you have to take cognizance of your mental health. So I have captioned this inner strength, outer growth. So I think it's a bit of I think that will need a correction on the slides. All right. So moving on. Why? Because your mind is the most valuable asset in building lasting success. And just so it doesn't feel hypocritical, before I joined this call, I said to take a nap. Right. I took let's say 20-minute nap just to be fired up for this conversation, because I feel it's something that we need to have so much energy in the room and so much vulnerability as well to communicate it. So I still remain Gare Oke-Eriemo, the CEO and founder at Craft and Scale Network Limited. Okay. So I begin the session by looking at what the true cost of success is. Of course, people will think true cost of success is hard work. It's determination, it's connection, it's network, and of course, God, right? For those that are believers, right? But success that costs your peace is too expensive. Success that costs your peace is too expensive. I'm saying this from a very guilty, perspective. I used to be one person that just believed in 24 hours was never enough, right? You want to work long hours, sleep shorter hours, and expect to be as fired up as the next person that had a decent amount of sleep and decent amount of time to meditate and reflect, right? So we're going to start that process here. For every single one of us on this call, we want to ensure that we are always open to reflection, right? If you're not open to reflection, you will continue in a habitual way of living, not knowing how toxic it is for you, not knowing how toxic it is for your career, and not knowing the cost it's having, right, on your success in general. So, quick question to everyone on the call. Tell me on the comment section, when was the last time you achieved something that drained rather than fulfilled you? I mean, you just finished a particular task, or you sent a document to a client, or you finish a client work, and you don't find when you just like, you came from a place of tiredness, right? You could see your eye bag so big when you're sending that last draft, when we are sending that deliverable. When was the last time this happened? If this happened to you today, then you're on the right call. If this happened to you within the week, you're on the right call, because we want to move you from achieving something from a drained state to achieving something from a fulfilling state, right? So tell us on the comment section, when was the last time you achieved something, no matter how little. If it was a jog, right, you achieved today, that was what you did today, but you achieved that from a place of you woke up in the morning so exhausted, you just had to just jog nonetheless because it's part of your routine. Or you woke up this morning and you were fired up because you know that there's something you're getting out of this jog, right? There's a certain joy, a certain rest that is coming for you from this jog because of what he does for your body system, right? Tell us on the comment section as well. So I want this conversation to be I want to be a conversation nonetheless, right? It's not going to be a monologue. I want every single one of us to be able to contribute one way or the other. All right, so let me see if there's already a buzz on the comment section. So yes, please tell us the last thing you achieved, right? The last document you completed, the last deliverable you sent. Did you send it from a place of drain, like I couldn't wait to just submit this, I couldn't wait to just be done with this client, or you sent it with I can't wait for my next client, I can't wait for my next deliverable because I love what I'm doing, and I love how I'm doing it. So tell us. So while you're doing that, let's look at how to build, a foundation for sustainable success. Of course, we all know that there is no building in the world that is without a foundation. Sometimes you dig so many feet into the ground to have a formidable foundation. That's how important the foundation is. So the question is, you can't talk about sustainable success if you have not put a foundation in place. So what is your foundation, right? What is your foundation for sustainable success? Because we know that the topic is focused on mental health and sustainable success. So we're looking at the twin pillar here. So true lasting growth, if it's lasting growth, if you don't want to be a one-time wonder, right? This requires a base stronger than mere ambition. It's not enough to be ambitious, right? For someone like me that runs an organization that is focused on the gap between ambition and execution, I can tell you for free that if you're running on just ambition, you will never execute effectively. You can execute, but you will never execute effectively. So we're looking at, what are these things? We know that lasting growth, sustainable growth requires something more than ambition or external pressure. The client is telling you, oh, send my deliverables, or your boss is telling you, send this, or even if it's something you're doing for you're self-employed, you have a timeline, the timelines are knocking on your door, your alarms are banging on your door, right? If that is what you are basing your foundation on, then there's a problem, because mental stability acts as that critical foundation. What acts as that what critical foundation. And so we're going to look at these are like pathways, right? Pathways. Now, if you want to attain sustainable growth, because there are different layers, right? So, and the foundation what we see here is mental health and well-being. You can't what's the word? You can't treat something you're unaware of. How many of you have ever just woke up one morning and just feel like you're fine, you're energetic, we just go buy malaria drugs and say, I want to take malaria drugs because I know that malaria is somewhere. It doesn't happen like that. Or you just go take Panadol, for those of us in Nigeria, or paracetamol, or any other painkillers, right? When you don't have a headache. So the truth is, right, you have to first be aware that there's something called a mental health, right? You have to be aware that there are consequences of brain drain, there are consequences of exhaustion, there are consequences of tiredness, there are consequences of, basically anything that means that you are overstressing yourself. And then that there's a position in life that is called well-being. But we strive to attain so many things. We want to attain status, we want to attain power, we want to attain wealth, we want to attain riches. There is a particular position in life that we should all strive to attain, and it's called well-being. So let's start with the engagement. Put it on the chat box. I want to attain well-being. I want to attain well-being. I want to attain well-being. Let's get that buzzing, because there's the power of positive speaking, right? There's the power of positive speaking. So I want you to start saying it, and I want you to type it, right? I want to have well-being. I want to have well-being. All right. And so when you have this already figured out, you know that there's a consciousness of mental health, and you know there's a position called well-being. You have to attain that well-being. It gives you the ability to be focused and clear. Your vision is clearer. How many of you have just had a period where you had a lazy day and you slept so much, and then when you woke up, it just seemed like you were so fired up with different ideas? Yeah, that's what rest does for you. And one of my mentors always talks about rest as a strategy, right? Replenishing, right? Building structures on the basis of, I'm not clamoring for this thing. I already have this thing, but then I'm just retracing my step back to pick it up with my hands, right? So when you come from a place of rest, I can tell you how clear it is for me to have this session with you just because I took a 20-minute nap. So you could imagine if I woke up from a 2-hour nap or a 2-hour sleep, for example, right? How focused I'll be, how clear I'll be, how attentive and how articulate I would be. So it gives you focus, right? Because you're waking up and you're not saying, okay, what are the things that are before me? What are the things that are behind me? Right? The ones that are behind me, what can I do to get them with me or before me, whatever position you want them to be? Things that are before me, what can I do to get there? So you're clear. And that's what a perfect or a good mental health does for you. It also breeds, so this will not push you to the level of, because of course when you're clear on your destination, it's easier to get there. You now start thinking, okay, if my destination is 2 kilometers, what means of transport will I need to get there? Or what, first of all, what means of transport is available to me, right? Do I have a car? Do I have a motorcycle? Right? Is it by air? Do I have a private jet? Do I have a helicopter? Is it by water? Do I have a ship? Do I have a boat? Do I have a jet ski? Right? Do I have a yacht? So you ask yourself, so you're not clear on what you have. You're first of all, you're focused on where you want to go to, and then you're clear on what you can use to get you there. Of course, you will become high performing and you become even more creative. So now you now know what not to waste your time on, right? You can be clear and tell yourself, this particular task takes me 5 minutes. And because you're coming from a place of rest, it actually takes you 5 minutes. Because if you're not coming from a place of rest, you are tired. The ideas that will normally just pop up in your head, you will struggle to get them. So what will naturally take you 5 minutes may take you 20 minutes. That's downtime. So when you're focused, when you're clear, you become high performing and you become creative. And this brings you to a position of sustainable growth, because what is sustainability, right? Something that really transcends time, that ticks the quotient of environmental, social, economic. So you make sure that everything that you are doing is not impeding any of these three factors. And more importantly, and this encompasses of inclusive growth, meaning there are areas of your life that may have been dormant before. They are now progressive and productive. Why? Because you first of all had the consciousness of your mental health and you strive to get to the position of well-being. You became more focused, you became more clear on your goals, and then you became high performing just because you're clear. And became creative because you're focused. And of course, you now got to the position of being sustainable in the growth process, because you cannot be high performing and not be growing. Performance in itself is motion. High performance is a positive motion, so that's growth. Of course, although growth can be two-faced, it could be the decline, it could be an increase, right? So, but we are trusting that for every one of you on this call, what we're going to be seeing here on out is not a decline, but an increase, right, in your performance. All right. So, what's currently fueling your success is a question I want us to reflect on. What's currently fueling your success? Let me see those that are on this call, because I want this to be a very intentional conversation, right? So I see Dan, I see, okay, I still have Sam on the call. Tell us, right, what is currently fueling your success, right? Because I believe everyone on this call is successful. All right. And of course, the word success is relative. Don't think big, think small. That you woke up this morning and you chose not to kill yourself, you're successful. You didn't get consumed by everything that is going on around you. You still chose to try to move ahead, then you're successful. Success it starts from the mind and then transcends to your hand. So the question is, what is fueling your success? Is it pressure? Is it, oh my God, I have 2 days to deliver this, right? Or is it the pressure of, I don't want to be broke, so I have to work hard? Is it pressure of, I want to buy this house, so I have to work hard? Is that why you are striving to be successful, or purposeful? You believe that there is something that comes out of your next level of success. There's something that comes out of your next level of growth. Is that what it is for you? Tell us on the comment section. All right. So now we're going to also look at how mental health high performance. Because we said it, but it looked like it was just something very bogus. I'm sure a lot of us on the comment have been saying, "Oh, come on, how exactly does mental health really just make me become high performing?" So we'll find out. Healing is a process, health is a position. If you're healthy, it means that you're devoid of any form of sickness or disease. But if you're healing, it means that you were once, your health deteriorated to the point, and then you're recuperating back. So we're looking at mental health, not mental healing, because we want you to get there and be there. We don't want you to just be picking up the pace gradually. No, we don't want you to, bring yourself down today and then pick it up before by weekend. Work so hard and believe that when you sleep during the weekend, it augments for the sleepless nights you have over the week. That's a lie. That's a very big lie. I listened to, I was in a group recently where they talked about the benefits of fasting. as an individual. And I saw that there were some things that we even people do before they get into a fast, right? The things that you do before, during, and after a fast, the kind of meals to eat before, during, and after a fast. Of course, I mean, when I mean during, I mean if it's a fast that is more than a day. Right? We find out that sometimes our metabolism does not support some certain meals that we eat. For example, you've been fasting for days, you just want to break with something very heavy because you feel like you have lost so much energy, but that's not what your body needs, right? So we're thinking of this conversation from a perspective of health. All right. So rested minds make better work. I kid you not. So cultivating mental balance directly enhances the three core pillars of professional output. So this is how we get to see what the mental health really does, all right, to make you a high performing freelancer, a high performing CEO, a high performing founder, generally a high performing individual. So the first thing here is mental clarity, right? So it enables you to for better strategic thinking, rapid problem solving. Calm minds make better calls. So meaning if you are in a fix, for me sometimes when I have a very, very rusty day, right, I just go and sleep, take a nap, right? So the good thing is, of course, I will not lie to you and tell you that I sleep 8 hours in a day. I don't think I've done 8 hours in a while, right? But what I do is when I have time in between the day, I just close my eyes, take those power naps, and I get refired. When I hit a deadlock with a particular task or something, and I don't seem to be pulling through, and I seem to be dabbling, when you find yourself just jumping from 1, 2, 3, 4 tasks at the same time, you're already burning out. Taking up, taking up. Because calm minds make better calls, right? Unleash creativity is another thing that comes from mental health. It reduces cognitive load. So rather than think that more means more hands means more productivity, we had a session where we talked about work smarter and not harder. This comes from a rested mind, right? It makes you become more creative. Or rather than spend I don't know, 1 hour on going online and looking for articles on this particular thing for your research. Why not ask AI? Why not get an assistant? I share with you guys that one of my most promising platform right now is Perplexity AI, right? But more importantly, their product called Comet, right? Is something that is just so amazing. Where you can just sit, you're talking to your assistant, telling your assistant, oh, I have a job on LinkedIn right now. The job is titled this, apply for the job for me. I already have my CV, or find easy apply jobs for me on this particular role and apply to them, and it does it. But you cannot be able to think that far, right, if you are stressed. I was talking with a friend yesterday. Today his clothing, his luxury clothing store becomes 4 years, right? And I was saying, oh, your store becomes 4 years tomorrow. Oh my God, that's true. Like, guy, how far? I need to write a message, right, that I will share to my customers and thank them, right? But I can't seem to just weather the words right now. And me, I was already stressed. I just went to AI and I got, and I sent, and he was like mad. He thinks it was from me, but obviously that wasn't me, because I refined it a bit, but I can't take the glory. AI worked that out, right? But it was because I was able to just be cognitive and that, reduce that. I just wanted to reduce that cognitive. I didn't want to worry about so much. And I really wanted to sleep when he sent me that text message. So I had to make sure that I just delivered and I went to sleep. So it allows for divergent thinking, right, and innovation instead of reactive task management. Because sometimes when things pop up, we want to just solve it. We're so eager problem solvers, but sometimes problem solving is not actually. Sometimes problem solving is rest. I want you guys to put that on the comment section. Sometimes problem solving is not always action. Sometimes it is rest. Problem solving is not always action. Sometimes it is rest. Problem solving is not always action. Sometimes it is rest. All right. So, and then another thing that mental health does for us is emotional intelligence. It improves team leadership, right? You're not reacting to what team members are saying. You are responding from a place of understanding, right? It helps you to resolve conflict in your workplaces, and even with yourself or with your friends and families, right? It helps with what nuanced decision making under pressure. All right. And this is what it does for you, because now you become so free to focus. There's this book I read, I think that should be by Andrew Womack, Free to Focus, a powerful read. If you have the time, please go over that book, right? You basically just chat away productivity. It makes you take out those garbage, those things that you naturally can automate. You put it on one side, and then you check the goals that you even have before you, how many of them are realistic, and it helps you put those ones, the ones that are non-realistic, on the side and focus on the realistic ones, and so you get your easy wins. And remember, I talked about celebrating small achievements. Yes, an emotionally intelligent person will know to celebrate a small achievement because he knows that that does a lot for his mind and his mental health at the end of the day. All right. So studies have shown that teams with high mental well-being see up to 20% increase in decision-making accuracy. And I kid you not. I have team members that will just tell me, "Oh, Gary, I'm feel overwhelmed. I'm having this challenge." And sometimes when I see the task on your desk, I just tell you, take tomorrow off. Right? Let's regroup the next day. At the point I've told the staff to take the whole week off. This was surprised. This was from a place where it was very toxic environment where you can't necessarily just ask for breaks like that. Right? So it was very surprising to her at the time. But I said, take 1 week off. And even in that 1 week, she kept on messaging me the next day and said, "Are you sure you want me to take 1 week?" I'm like, "Yeah, take 1 week." By the time she got back, she was fired up. Of course, it may not be the case for everyone. You may tell someone to take 1 week and the person take. But of course, you have to be able to set boundaries as a leader, as a founder, as a CEO, whatever position you find yourself. All right. Let them know that your yes is your yes. So be principled at the end of the day. All right. And so breaking the hidden burnout cycle, I can tell you for free, 80% of us on this call, we are burning out. I gave an example. When you find yourself jumping from one task to the other, 4 tasks or 5 tasks at the same time, you're saying, "How can I finish all of them before 4 p.m.? You're burning out. When you don't have the clarity to focus on one, finish and move on to the next, you're burning out. So many high achievers mistake the draining loop for dedication. You can't sustain without what constantly drains you. That's real life. If you have a strategy that makes sure that by the end of the day, you're already just limping to your bed, you can't wait, just climb the bed and sleep. Nah, you can't be sustainable on that. You have to get to a point where it's nighttime, it's time to sleep, right? So there's something powerful ahead. Rest should be a rest from something and rest to something. So meaning you've done so much today, you're not tired, you're not drained, but you want to rest. And so you rest so you can have enough energy to kick again tomorrow. So what does the burnout cycle look like? It looks like this, what you see on your screen, right? Stress, fatigue, decline and recover, reconnection. So this is where it starts from. All right, it's a like I said, it's a cycle. It goes on and on. But I believe the very first thing you notice is stress. Is stress. Is stress. And then it leads to fatigue. When it becomes fatigue, it means that you have of course you're stressed because of the kind of things you're doing. It becomes fatigue when you are unable to do those things you want to do. You know you can do it, right? You're so sure you can do it, but you find yourself not being able to do it because you feel like you're so heavy. It becomes fatigue. And then one day you wake up in the morning and you just sense a disconnect. You just wonder, why am I doing this thing? And it's why I asked the question, what was fueling your success? Right? Was it pressure? Was it purpose? When you wake up in the morning and you don't feel purposeful to do a particular thing, it's already a disconnect. It's already a disconnect. And of course, it leads to a decline. It means a decline in your productivity, decline in your performance, decline in your output, decline even in your emotions, because you now start to react to things. It's where you see scenarios where maybe a roach just moves around your house. Of course, you kill roaches before, but this one you just want to just hit it more so it just breaks a leg, so it doesn't move again, and you get matchbox and you get maybe a spray, an insecticide, and and you're burning the living daylight out of that roach. Right? Because at this point, you just want to take out your frustration or something, and the roach just presented itself as a willing sacrifice. All right. So where do you find yourself most often in this cycle? It's a big question to every one of you. And I want you to tell us on the comment section, right? Where do you find yourself? Do you find yourself in stress? Do you feel like you're doing so much, right? And it doesn't seem to have an end? Do you feel like you're fatigued? Do you feel like you have so much in your front, but you don't even know where to, you don't have the strength to start? Do you feel you're disconnected? It feels like you're just doing it time because then let me just do it. And you're not doing it because you're purposeful anymore. Do you feel there's a decline? Do you see that what you could achieve in your 1 hour was not bringing out the same amount of output as it would have 1 week before, 2 months before, tell us. So you feel like you're in stress? Do you feel you're fatigued? Do you feel you have a disconnect? Or do you feel like you're declining and you need to recover? So recognizing this pattern is the first step, because I told you identification. Identify that mental health is it's important. Then you have the capacity to now move to a place called well-being. All right, so these are the things that I want every one of us to have at the back of our mind. So tell me on the comment section, are you stressed? Are you fatigued? Do you feel a certain kind of decline in your productivity, or do you just feel disconnected? Maybe on this conversation, you're just feeling like you're already just tired. You're like, let guy just be done. Like, came in because I was just hoping I would just find something that fire me up. I don't feel so fired up right now. Let guy just be done. Let me go. Or can I just even just fall asleep on this call? That's a disconnect. So like I told you, all these things are a mindset. You have to first have the mindset first, right? And then you now take emotion. So mindset to motion, mindset to motion, mindset to motion. Mindset for longevity. The first thing is, so have 4 P's, right? The first thing is pause. I don't care what's on your desk. I don't care what the deadlines are, but the truth is that if you die today, another person will do that role tomorrow. If you faint today and you're hospitalized, someone else will do that role. Or life will go on. All right. So pause, create space between stimulus and response. Create space between when something hits you and when you respond to that thing. Right? Just reflect. Okay. I've done my to-dos for this week, right? And every single day I don't seem to clock out at least 8 out of the 11 tasks or 8 out of the 20 tasks I have. But the question is not, you now find out when you pause, right? Why do you have 20 tasks in a day? What's fueling me? Is it pressure? Am I giving unrealistic deadlines? Which is where you process, you acknowledge your emotions, and you analyze the situation. So you check, something wrong with you, Gare. Why are you putting 20 tasks in a day? Are you just in a bit trying to show your clients that you are that guy, and then you not end up giving deadlines that are unrealistic? Thank you very much for sharing, Anita. I am tired. I am both tired and let me see what's that. Tired and so Anita says, thank you for being vulnerable with us. I'm both tired and disconnected. So my very best thing to you, Anita, is take a pause. Take a pause. I don't care what's on your decks. Take a pause. I had a lot to do today. I had to take that nap. And it was so essential. I'll probably take another when I get back, because I have another meeting around 6-ish. I'll take another when I get back from that meeting, because the meeting is till 8 p.m. right, in Nigerian time. So you process. So I did that. At the point I paused, I asked myself, Gary, why are you having this amount of tasks in a day? Cut it down. So at the point I was doing just four tasks in a day out of 15. But then I saw myself now doing 8 out of 11, 9 out of 10, because I reduced it. So you protect, set boundaries. If I nap, I won't sleep at night. Okay, so question is, so some people are like that actually, right? Some people are like that actually. I feel like it comes from a distorted sleep pattern. I feel, I'm not 100%, I'm not a doctor, but I feel it comes from a distorted sleep pattern. And I have that too. There are nights where I'm up to like 5 a.m. and I force myself to sleep at that 5 a.m. Do you know why? Because I'm resting from something to something. I wasn't always a fan of naps. The question is, why would you sleep in a day when they are paying you to work? I was always this soldier kind of person. But when I started working on my own, right, I found that, as a CEO, you work 24 hours. So you have your 24 hours, so you have to be able to find rest, give it to yourself. I took Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as a retreat. Nobody heard from me all through those 3 days, right? Nobody heard from me at all through those 3 days. What did I do? I slept at least 10 hours in those 3 days. If I had added maybe eating some sumptuous meal, I probably seen on the call with fluffy chicks, and I'm sure everybody will be asking, what happened? Did you go on a vacation? You have to do that I told my friends, I don't work for anybody. And so because I do not do that, there's no structured leave. I have to do it for myself. So I told myself 3 days in every quarter. I would find 3 days in every quarter where I would disappear. 3 days seems too small, but it's a good start compared to where I'm coming from, right? So yes, if you don't get to sleep at night and you nap during the day, then make the naps multiple. You can have 3 power naps, 30 minutes power naps in a day. That's 1 hour, 30 minutes of sleep. You can make it 6, or you can make the power nap for an hour. Structure it morning, afternoon, if you have the liberty to. So you get 3 hours of sleep, and then just be building your way that way. Or if you're like myself, force yourself to sleep because you know what you're sleeping towards and what you're sleeping from. Protect, like I said, set boundaries. I used to be the kind of person that will tell people, don't worry, I got you. Even if you call me around 2 a.m., I will respond to you. I'm here for you. I'm that kind of friend. I'm not that kind of friend anymore. If you call me around 2 a.m., if I have the liberty of getting a lawyer, I will put it. If they can put a restraining order on phone calls, I will do it for you. Why are you calling me around 2 a.m.? I'm not your husband, right? I'm not your family member. Of course, family members want to do that. They'll tell you that, family comes first, right? But the truth is your health comes first. Set boundaries on your time, on your energy. Oh, I'm sorry, I used to be able to do this tax for you for free, but I can't do it. And it's not even because of the money factor. Don't pay me, but I feel like I have so much on my desk, so I can't meet up. I have someone's book I was working on because I do proofreading and editing as well. And the deadline, was already coming and it was passing. And I realized that what I set as a timeline was so short. I need pressure myself. I asked myself, is this person going to write an exam for this book? No. When I asked about the author initially, when do you want this book launched? She said anytime. So I said, oh, anytime? Okay. Anytime was good. And so I hold that in my mind that there is no timeline for the person. I said the timeline because I want to be responsible. But if my responsibility will kill me, I will halt on it. I'll be irresponsible, small, get myself, take a pause, process, protect myself, come back to being responsible. And the person may not have noticed that I was not available. And then you perform, you execute with clear focus, like I just give an example, right? And renewed energy, renewed energy. I can't stress that enough. So I want you guys to take a step right now. What boundary could you set this week to protect your mental energy? Tell me, are you cutting down on calls? I put my phone on DND all through the day. You can't call me during the day. If you call me, you would see that the call will bounce back. Unless there are days where I'm intentionally waiting for a call from someone, then I take it out. My phone is on DND because people have a regular 9 to 5. So my phone is on DND from 8 to 6 p.m. Right? Because of course I will work longer hours than someone that is underpaid employment, right? Because I want to get my big break. So once it's 6 p.m., my DND goes off. So prior to that, you can't call. The DND is so bad that the only person that can call, that the call will really come out of that DND is my mom. Because come on, like Drake said, I only love my dad and my mom. I'm sorry. All right. So yes, I would only come out of that DND for my mom because I know that she lives alone, and so she needs that constant checkup. But aside that, every other person can wait till after 6 p.m. or send me a text. On my laptop, for example, my WhatsApp is disabled for calls. I won't get a notification. When you call me, I will see silenced silenced call pretty much what I see on my laptop, and my phone is on DND. So you get that this guy doesn't want to be disturbed at this time of the day. All right. So the question now is, what boundary are you going to set for yourself this week, right, to protect rather your mental energy? So I want us to I want us to also respond to this, right? Let's go out in the limb. Tell me in the comment section, what is the boundary you are setting? Oh, I'm going to cut down this. I'm going to put my phone on this. I'm going to do this. Tell us on the comment section, what is the boundary you are going to set for yourself this week to protect your mental energy? All right. So we're gradually coming to, the end of the slides. All right. So another engagement while we're doing that, all right, I want you to rate yourself, be vulnerable, right? Rate yourself on these critical areas. So identify one area you can strengthen also. But for now, let's rate ourselves. So for rest, we're going to do this in the chat box. You have rest, the quality of sleep, and intentional downtime you have. If you are sleeping 2 hours a week, I think we should have 2 hours a day. Instead of how you want to, we should have minus 0.5 to 5 because you are owing. So tell us on a scale of 1 to 5, what's your rest like in a day? So you write rest dash put the score. What's your focus? Your ability to concentrate. All right. What's your ability to concentrate and avoid distractions? Right. Meaning, can someone just scatter your day? Tell us. So you have focus, you put the score. Everybody has to do this. Boundaries, protecting personal time and capacity. Like me now, do you have DND? Do you live in a house that 90% of your friends don't know where you are, so they cannot really come and look for you physically? What are the boundaries? Put it on. Tell us. Joy. How excited are you to do what you're doing right now? The integration of genuine pleasure and fulfillment in the work that I do. I'm super pumped to talk to you guys. I'm so excited, genuinely excited, because I'm learning things too. So tell us, joy on a scale of 1 to 5, right? What is it for you? So Anita says, I would love to put my phone on DND because I love to put my phone on DND, but because of the nature of my job, I can't. But I reduce my calls intake and yeah. So if you don't have the liberty of DND, right, you set your boundaries, right? Take a call and say, sorry, if you find that this person is not a client, sorry, I'm at work. Can I call you back around 7 p.m.? If it's not urgent, if it's urgent, send me a text message. I can't take a call at the moment. Chicken. So again, tell us, give us your rest score, give us your focus score, give us your boundary score, give us your joy score. Tell us. All right. Okay. And so when you put the scores, identify one area that you want to strengthen this week. So which do you want to strengthen? Is it your, you want to increase your number of your hours of sleep? Is it your focus? Right? Do you want to set targets? You calculate your KPIs you check your KPIs for the week and make sure that you smash all of them. Do you want to check your boundaries? Right? Do you want to check your joy? Are you waking up every morning? Are you excited for what you are doing? Check that. So tell us what you're going to strengthen as well. All right. Progress over perfection. And I'll tell you this for free. Right? Baby steps. When was the last time you celebrated progress instead of chasing the unattainable? That I was able to take a nap, for example, before this meeting, I clap for myself. Because I naturally would take naps when there's so much chaos. But there wasn't chaos this time. I just decided to say, I want to take a nap. And plus, I want to come to school and tell you guys, oh, I am practicing rest as a strategy, right? What's the one thing that you have been carrying quietly that's affecting your peace? What's that thing that is heavy on your heart? Share. Tell someone. What would success look like if joy was an essential part of your goal, right? Would you be the type of person that would just, of course, maybe you can't pop a bottle of wine every single time, or you just get maybe a can drink and just psh, for every single day that you're finished? Of course, don't get addicted. It's okay to pause. Growth also happens in stillness. I said this before. Problem solving is not always action. Problem solving can be rest. Because maybe rest itself is even an action. All right. So prioritize progress over perfection. Those weights, those things that are burdening you. Because the truth is, you can't. So there's my favorite quote. It says, worry does not rob tomorrow of his sorrow, it only saps today of his joy. So that thing that is heavy on your heart, my dear, it doesn't go anywhere just by you reflecting on it. Jeff Bezos says that anxiety, right? Anxiety increases when you focus on what you're anxious about, right? He says, given as I said, this is what anxiety looks like for some people. He said, people say you're anxious, you're anxious from the work that you are, that you're doing, right? And all that. But he says, but an unemployed person is anxious. Why? He doesn't have work now. He said the person is anxious because anxiety comes from, most times, like I said, it may not be honest, most times comes from the fact that you can do something. This is what you can do. You're here. You can see that you can do this thing, but you're unable to get there. You have the capacity, you have the temerity, you have everything that makes you qualified to do this, but you're not doing it. That's where anxiety. So you're looking. It's not just to write a cover letter. Why am I not writing this cover letter to apply for this job that will change my life? Anxiety. All right. So I can see responses. Dan says, for me, rest is a 3. 3 is a good score. Focus is a 2. We need to improve that. Boundaries is a 4. Fantastic, fantastic. Joy is a 3. All right. So I think this is sorry. Okay, yes. So I'm trying to, I don't want to use her actual name that I know, right? So let's use Sopolo Chuku. I hope I pronounced it correctly. That's the name I'm seeing here because I know this person personally. So she said her rest is 1. Please, that's dangerous. You're even worse than me. Are you sure it's 1 and it's not minus? I feel like you're owing. Focus is 3. That's good. Can be improved. Boundaries is 2. Please, by all means, take it up. Take it up. Joy is 2. Oh my God, by all means. And of course, I can tell how sincere your responses are, because if your rest is minimal, I don't see how your joy is going to be up. Because you're going to be tired, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be worried. So please, I'm surprised your focus is even as a 3. Maybe you have very very good attention span, and that's good. But please take that boundaries number up. Take that joy number up. It's very important. All right. And so as we bring the session to a close, just prepare your questions if you have any. The power of inner strength, right? Reframing success means prioritizing peace. It has to be a decision. It's a choice. Prioritizing clarity. You don't want to go on a journey that you only know half. Prioritizing genuine contribution over chaos and competition, right? Just tell yourself that, 1 that I did today is okay. As much as 10 over 10 is good, 1 over 10 is good. If it means that my peace is restored. Maybe tomorrow I'll get to 5 over 10, and then the next is 7 over 10, but 1 over 10 is good. Strong minds don't chase speed, they sustain impact. Strong minds don't chase speed, they sustain impact. They don't work harder, they work smarter. Your mental health is the engine of your long-term achievement. So while you're celebrating small wins, your mental health, how you feel, is why it's said to celebrate small wins, because it makes you feel excited, it makes you feel fulfilled. It's what engineers your long-term achievement, not an obstacle to be managed or overcome. Your mental health is not, don't see it as, oh, let me just so that I can tell people that my mental health is intact. No, don't see it as that. See it as something that will drive your long-term achievement at the end of the day. And this will culminate for you sustained performance. Sustained performance, it will culminate for you clarity, but of course, they are dependent on something. Sustained performance requires sustained self-care. Sustain. So it's not a once and for all thing, it's a once and again. Thank you for sharing, Anita. Anita says her rest is 2. Please pick that up. Your focus is 1. Of course, when your rest is minimal, your focus won't be. Your boundaries as well. Your boundaries are minimal, your focus will not be okay. Your joy, of course. So please, let's get these numbers up. Pause. Like I said, the 4 P's. Pause. Take a pause. Process and protect. Put those boundaries. So the pause is like the rest, right? The process is like to give you focus, right? Protect, set the boundaries, and then you move from there. All right. So clarity, as it says here, clarity is a new competitive advantage. You're only as far, there's this popular scripture, because I'm a believer. It says, as far as your eyes can see, I will give it to you. If you're not clear, your vision is not clear, your vision is so blurry, you're so tired, what then are you reaching for if you can't see it? All right. Sustainable success begin within. So I encourage every single one of you on the call today, commit to one mindset change today that honors your most valuable asset. Commit to one. Let me just go back. Commit to one. We shared, identify one of these areas, like I said, rest, focus, boundaries, and joy, and then pick the one you are strengthening this week. So tell us on the comment section, even as I begin to entertain questions, which of these are you going to strengthen this week? Is it your rest? Is it your focus? Is it your boundary? Is it your joy? All right. So while we're doing this, I remain Gare Oke-Eriemo. You can always connect with me. Gare Oke-Eriemo. Connect with me on Instagram at Gare Oke-Eriemo. All right. So, like I said, which one of them? Is it rest? Is it focus? Is it boundaries? Is it joy? Which one of them are you? going to strengthen this week? So tell us on the comment section, even as we now take questions. All right. Okay, so Anita says she's going to strengthen focus and boundaries. Please strengthen those. Why are you not strengthening rest first? Okay, I see something from Dan. I know it's good to start with a reasonable number of tasks, but what if it produces laziness? Hmm. Fair point. Fair point. Fair point. All right. But what I would say is this. All right. Um, when there is no joy, right? When there is no joy, there is no fulfillment in doing anything. Laziness will creep in whether you take a pause or you reduce your tax. So the word underlined here is reasonable. Let's be real. All right. It will take you naturally 2 hours to prepare a slide for a presentation. But just because you have so many deadlines, you now put on your to-do list, prepare slides 20 minutes. As how now? It's not possible. So when we talked about reducing your task, it's from a reasonable perspective. If it's reasonable, it would not breed laziness. It's when it's unreasonable. For example, you can normally do a slide, in 2 hours. You now say, this slide you put on your to-do. Today, only today, the whole of my 10 hours of work, slides. Of course, that would breed laziness. It would breed laziness. It would breed laziness. So the ideal word and the underlying word here is reasonable. Reasonable. It's like me saying this session lasts for an hour and I'm putting it on my to-do list 10 minutes. Again, as how now? How do I want to? How? That's a lie. That's a very big lie. So underlying word here is what? Reasonable. So please, Anita, added to your focus and your boundaries, strengthen your rest. Dan says he will strengthen his focus and his joy. Yes, because when you are joyous, right? You are joyous, you know that, again, I'm a believer, so I'll say this: the joy of the Lord is your strength. When you're joyous, you receive strength, right? That comes from that, and then the strength also that comes from rest, and then your focus, you cannot say, okay, which boundaries am I not clear on that I should put an end to. All right. So that's another thing. So Christabel, which is Sopoluchuku, says, I will try to strengthen rest. Don't try, you strengthen rest, strengthen your boundaries, strengthen joy. So the thing is, I said pick one because it's already tiring to strengthen two of them. I can see how stressed all of you are on this call. If I give are picking more than one thing, after I outrightly said pick one, pick one towards strengthen this week, you are picking multiple. Means you're already tired, you're drained. You're not clear again, no clarity. The guy say one, did he say two? Did he say all of them? I will strengthen all of them. How? All right, so please reduce them to one, focus on that one, and I trust that the week you're going to be entering is going to be one of your best weeks yet. And we need reviews, reviews. And please, I want to say this, right? I want you guys to be active on social media talking about the benefits of these sessions. Go on LinkedIn, go on Instagram, post about how you had a session about rest, about your mental health, and then you decided to take this step, this approach, and then boom, your productivity level skyrocketed. All right, tell us, post about these things, tag the Hailerz community, the Hailerz Global Talent. You can tag me as well, and let's celebrate your joy, because the joy is that you don't just come here to hear stuff, you take steps, practical steps, and there are results to show. All right. So that's basically it. That's basically it. So do we have any questions? If we don't have any questions, so that I can leave the rest of you to actually go and rest. Yes, to go and rest. So if you're having 2 minutes left on this call before the 1 hour threshold, you will go and rest in that 2 minutes. So okay. So Anita just says I'm someone that easily gets distracted or even give up when I don't see immediate results or improvement. How do I change this? Celebrate small achievements. There's something called milestone. Set milestone for the tasks that you do. Don't say, oh, I will complete the slides today. Say I will complete 20% of the slides today, complete another 30% tomorrow, complete 50% the day after tomorrow. And when you finish 20% today, at the end of the day, you realize that you completed your task for today. Start there, right? And then grow. If you don't celebrate small achievements, right, you will give up, you get distracted. It's real life. So what I can tell you, Anita, start setting small achievements. Tell us if I complete my task today, I will buy sweet. Tell us that I complete my task today, I'm going to buy sweet for myself. I'm going to buy a drink. So something that is sustainable. Don't go say you can buy Chamdo. Chamdo is like 5,000, 6,000 naira, right? If you buy Chamdo for every single day, it's everything. I don't even need your salary. All right. So find something small. It could be a sweet. It could be a drink. It's something that you tell yourself that at the end of today, this is what I'm going to celebrate this milestone I've achieved. But make sure the milestone is small, it's attainable. Is why I said break down those big tasks to smaller things so you can call them results before they become a completed task. So you can now see the immediate results that you were not seeing before. You start seeing them when you reduce it. Sometimes I put some things as small as, oh, send an email to this person as a task for 1 hour, because I know that between that time I get calls as well, work calls. So be realistic with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If you want to lie to the world, don't lie to yourself. All right. I hope that answers your questions, Anita. So Dan says, how do you manage tasks or events that just suddenly take you unawares, something you didn't plan for in the particular day? I'll quote Dr. Miles Monroe. A leader is one that effectively schedules his day but creates a forum for other people to, he didn't use the word interject, to interrupt their day. In my day, so when I share my tasks with, because I have a good number of virtual assistants that work with me for different purposes, all right? Because I have different things. So this person knows my 12 to 4, my 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., my 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., and my 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. That's the breakdown, all right? And so I put things that I know that this thing is not 1 hour task, it's 20 minutes, because it creates that forum. And because there are days where your creative juice will not be as active as you think it's going to be. So you create that particular time to augment when that juice is no longer there. And if the juice is there, you now have time to cater for these things that are just springing up on you. But boundaries are what makes those tasks that will naturally, just come up on you unawares. They will come, but they will be unaware of you. Right? Because now they cannot access you, right? Because you already have things you've already put in place. So those people being able to call you randomly should no longer be there. So those tasks don't spring upon you. But as a leader, as an individual, create a schedule that accommodates some certain amount of time, 30 minutes, 1 hour. So whatever springs on you, you can use that 1 hour to think of how you can either solve it or outsource it. All right. I don't know if that answers your question. So, but that's just basically what I can tell you. Of course, things will always come. Like, for example, today was one of the hardest days of my life. Right, I have multiple calls. It's why I had to one of the reasons I had to still go take that nap. Right, I had a friend that had a run into a fix, and so the person is in a foreign country that doesn't speak English. So I'm running like up and down, calling different people, just trying to find a way to fix that thing for the person, because if the person doesn't fix it, the law takes its course on that person. And so that wasn't part of my day. I had my tasks. So what did I do? I just paused and said, okay, Gare, you're not in this country. How many of your friends do you know that either live there or have lived there? I wrote their names out, right? Okay, how many people can actually intervene for this? I brought them out. I sent all of them voice notes. I called some, those I didn't pay, I sent them voice notes. And I texted the person and said, don't worry, I'll be working on it. And have receipts to show, because I have voice notes for this, I have calls from this person, right? And I'm going to go and sleep. Although that was not immediately. That was after my royal rumble of jumping around. but I could only ever come to that conclusion because I created a time for it. Have I finished all my tasks for the day? No, because the day has not finished. And so anything I couldn't have done in the time that I had ascribed to it before, I will augment at 9 times. Right. I do hope that answers your question. So this pretty much brings us to the end of the session. Before I go, one more thing. Please, that one thing that you say you're going to strengthen the coming week, start strengthening it from this weekend. Is it rest you want to strengthen? Right? Is it boundaries? Is it focus? What's the last thing? Um, Let me see. Is it joy? Strengthen your pick one, strengthen your rest, strengthen your focus, strengthen your boundaries, strengthen your job. But just make sure that you are better off next week than you were this week, so you can be free to focus. So this is us done. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you guys for the engagement. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Christabel. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Ifeanyi. I saw your reactions here and there. Thank you, everyone, for joining in and for keeping the chat room buzzing. And this was done for this session. We look forward to seeing you for all the sessions across this weekend. Update, check your emails, because we send calendar invites for any other session that is taking place this weekend. Make sure to tell your friends about it, share with your friends, because if you're getting solutions that make you a high-performing individual, you should want the same for your friends and colleagues as well. So spread the gospel of the Hailerz community. And until next time, I hello.